Most businesses fail to adopt Agile. This is because they focus on Agile adoption only in technology. In this video, I'm going to share how Banka took the opposite approach. They adopted Agile in every business function, including technology, and successfully scaled it to achieve profitability and innovation. Hi, my name is Anil Jaising. I'm a chief product owner for Concepts and Beyond, a premier training and coaching company, and an adjunct faculty with NYU's graduate program of project management. I'm also a certified Scrum trainer with Scrum Alliance. I'm on a mission to help leaders, teams, and organizations drive product innovation and build profitable businesses. Subscribe to my channel for stories of innovation fueled by product management, business agility, and DevOps. In the vibrant heart of Prague, Komercni banka stood as a beacon of traditional banking, deeply rooted in rich history and a culture of its surroundings. As a subsidiary of the global banking powerhouse Societe Generale, it had established itself as a cornerstone of the Czech banking sector, serving a diverse clientele that ranged from small entrepreneurs to large commercial conglomerates. The bank's portfolio was a testament to its commitment to meeting the varied needs of its customers, offering a comprehensive suite of services including consumer credit, debit cards, insurance, investments, and mortgages. Among its accolades was its long-term credit rating of A from Standard & Poor's, a reflection of its financial stability and reliability in the eyes of the global financial community. Yet for all its achievements and the respect it commanded in the financial world, Komercni Bank was at its core a well-oiled machine that thrived on tradition and predictability. As many other banks, it was known for its good dividends, rewarding its shareholders. In 2017, Juhelka stepped into the limelight as the newly appointed CEO and chair of the management board at Komercni banka. His ascendancy marked significant turning point, not just for him, but for the entire institution. He was set to lead. Juhelka was no ordinary executive. He brought with him a rich tapestry of experience and a fresh perspective, which was needed and timely. Having joined the bank back in 2006, his journey within its walls had provided him with an intimate understanding of its operations, strength, and most crucially, its area in needs of innovation. Juhelka's academic and professional background was very impressive. With a master's degree in economics, he was well versed in the theories that underpin financial institutions and markets. However, it was his practical experience that truly set him apart. Before joining Komercni Bank, he spent a decade at the National Property Fund of the Czech Republic, where he honed his skills in managing assets and navigating the complexities of national economics. This blend of theoretical knowledge and practical expertise made him uniquely qualified to steer Komercni banka through the challenges it faced. His leadership came at a crucial point. The banking industry was undergoing rapid transformation, propelled by technological advancements and changing consumer expectations. Juhelka's appointment was a clear signal that Komercni banka was ready to embrace change and seek out new horizons. His vision for the bank was not just about maintaining its legacy, but about reimagining its future in an increasingly digital and interconnected world. Upon assuming his role as the helm of Komercni banka, Jan Juhelka embarked on a deliberate and thoughtful observation that spanned the initial 3 months of his tenure as a CEO. Juhelka's immersed himself in the day-to-day workings of the bank, keenly observing its operations, interactions, and the subtle dynamics that underpin its corporate culture. His approach was methodical, informed by his years of experience, and a profound belief in the value of grounding leadership decisions in a comprehensive understanding of the organization's heart. During this period, Juhelka traversed the various layers of the bank structures, from the bustling branches to the quiet corridors of the headquarters in Prague. He engaged with employees across all levels, from tellers to managers, seeking to grasp the intricacies of their roles and the challenges they face. This deep dive into the bank's operational fabric revealed a picture of an institution that was in many ways a paragon of traditional banking excellence, but also one that had a web of hierarchical silos. This observation period uncovered a bank organized in a manner that was typical of many legacy institutions, a vertical hierarchy that, while efficient in a bygone area, now seemed to stifle innovation and agility. Departments within the bank operated as isolated units, often guarding their turf. Rather than collaborating, the siloed approach led to internal frictions, with teams sometimes finding themselves at odds with minor issues, indicative of a broader culture of compartmentalization and resistance to teamwork. The executive team was busy with large committees that were slow moving and often lacked clear ownership of decisions. Time, a precious commodity in the fast evolving bank sector, was being consumed by bureaucratic processes. Juhelka identified a palpable sense of complacent nature that had taken root within the bank's culture. This was not complacent born out of negligence, but rather the byproduct of years of operating within the comfort zone of traditional banking practices and silos. This complacent nature posed a risk as it dampened the drive for innovation and adaptation, essential qualities in an industry increasingly characterized by rapid technological advancement. Digital finance solutions had revolutionized how customers interacted with financial service providers. Komercni Bank, with its legacy systems, traditional operating models, was always playing catch up. Regulatory changes presented another critical challenge. The regulatory landscape for financial institutions was in flux, with new frameworks being introduced to ensure greater transparency, security, and customer protection. Navigating these changes required agility and a proactive approach to compliance, areas where the bank's existing siloed structure was proving to be a limitation. Talent attraction and retention emerged as a significant concern as well. With unemployment rates low and the demand for skilled professionals high, the bank found itself in a competitive battle to attract and retain the best talent. The traditional siloed nature of the organization was a deterrent to dynamic, forward thinking individuals who sought environments that champion innovation, flexibility, and teamwork. Lastly, Juhelka recognized that the bank's organizational structure, characterized by its rigidity and hierarchical silos, was a fundamental challenge. These challenges were deeply embedded in the bank's cultural fabric. Addressing them would require more than incremental changes. It needed a comprehensive transformation of how the bank operated, thought, and engaged with its customers and employees. Enjoying the story? It turns out we have a scaling agile class that goes deep into this and many other stories. In this certification class from Scrum Alliance, we teach you how companies have failed and what it takes companies to succeed in scaling agile. That leads you to build innovative products and profitable businesses. Scan the QR code to learn more or check out the link in the description of this video. Now let's go over how Juhelka addressed scaling his bank to profitability and innovation. The first step he did was create a vision for agile transformation. His vision was not just to adopt agile in project management or IT development. It was about embedding agility into the very DNA of the organization, reshaping its culture, processes, and structure to become more responsive, flexible, and aligned with the evolving needs of its customers and the market. Juhelka's aim was to dismantle the traditional hierarchical organization model that had long defined Komercni Bank. He saw the future of the bank as one characterized by empowered, cross functional teams working in a flat structure where decision making was decentralized and the innovation could thrive. This would require a shift from working in silos to a model where collaboration, transparency, and rapid iteration were the norm. Central to Juhelka's vision was the concept of giving power to small teams or squads that could operate with autonomy and accountability, focusing on specific custom needs or product areas. These squads would be supported by tribes, larger organizational units that shared a common mission. The structure was designed to foster a sense of ownership, purpose at every level of the organization, breaking down the barriers that had previously impeded collaboration and innovation. Employees at all levels would need to embrace principles such as continuous learning, adaptability, and customer focus. Leadership, too, would need to evolve, moving away from command and control to a role that emphasized coaching, facilitating, enabling teams to reach their full potential. It was also about cultural transformation, making people feel comfortable with experimentation, failure as a learning process, and collaboration across boundaries. He envisioned creating an environment where teams could work with speed and flexibility, delivering value to customers in shorter cycles and adapting quickly to feedback and changing market conditions. The second step was to form a powerful coalition. Juhelka began by identifying influential figures across the bank spectrum, from seasoned executives to emerging leaders who showed a natural inclination towards innovation and change. His criteria for selection were clear: individuals who not only possessed authority and respect within the organization, but also demonstrated a genuine openness to new ideas and ways of working. This diverse group included leaders from various departments, ensuring a broad representation of perspectives and expertise. Juhelka then initiated a series of in depth discussions and workshops. These sessions were designed not just to share his vision, but to actively engage this leadership group in shaping the transformation strategy. He presented the compelling need for change, backed by his observations and the challenges he had identified, outlining how an agile transformation could address these issues and propel the bank forward. The discussions themselves were candid and collaborative, with Juhelka encouraging every member to voice concerns, suggestions, and ideas. It was crucial that this coalition not only understood the vision, but also felt a sense of co ownership in the transformation. Through these collaborative sessions, Juhelka and his team painted a vivid picture of what the future could look like, a bank that was more dynamic, responsive, and focused on delivering exceptional value to its customers. Juhelka then facilitated the development of a shared set of objectives and principles that would guide the Agile transformation. This included commitments to fostering cross functional collaboration, empowering teams, enhancing customer satisfaction, and continuously learning and adapting. Each member of the coalition was tasked with becoming an Agile ambassador, spreading the vision, values throughout their respective domains. The third step was to create a sense of urgency. Juhelka's strategy to instill the sense of urgency began with a meticulous presentation to Komercni Bank's parent company, Societe Generale. He laid out the stark realities facing the bank, the technological disruptions, the evolving regulatory landscape, and the intensifying battle for talent. He articulated how these factors constituted a threat to the bank's traditional way of operating and underscored the necessity of an agile transformation. Society General backed Juhelka. Juhelka extended his efforts to the broader bank community, including external regulators. He engaged them with the same candidness, presenting the bank's strategy to adapt to the changing environment through agility. The widespread agreement from these external stakeholders not only validated the agency of the transformation, but also helped him in rallying internal support by demonstrating that the push for change was recognized and supported beyond the confines of the bank. Central to creating a sense of urgency was the transparency about the stakes involved. He openly communicated that failing to change would not just impede growth, but would potentially jeopardize the bank's position in the market, leading to a decline in customer trust and ultimately to the erosion of its business. This stark portrayal of the consequences of inaction served as a wake up call to the organization. He also emphasized that while the bank did not have all the answers or a detailed roadmap of what the future structure would look like, it possessed a solid framework to guide the transformation. This approach encouraged a collective problem solving mindset, inviting contributions from across the organization to shape the journey ahead. The fourth step was communicating the vision and the strategy. In the summer of 2018, with the foundational support of Societe Generale and the commitment of Komercni Banka's leadership firmly established, Juhelka embarked on the crucial task of communicating the vision and strategy for the agile transformation across the broader organization. Understanding the transformative power of clear and compelling communication, Juhelka was determined to ensure that every member of the bank was not just informed, but fully aligned with the vision for change. A key aspect of Juhelka's approach was his emphasis on simplification and clarity. He made it a point to demystify the concept of agile, explaining it in terms that were accessible and relatable to all employees, regardless of their familiarity with Agile. He did not focus on the Agile transformation, but he focused on the practical implications of the transformation, such as quicker decision making, enhanced customer satisfaction, and the increased employee engagement. To reinforce the communication, Juhelka and his team developed a 200-page playbook. This comprehensive document detailed the future strategy of the bank, the structural changes required to implement Agile, and the expected outcomes of this transformation. The playbook served as a tangible representation of the bank's commitment to change and a roadmap for employees to understand their role in the journey ahead. Throughout this process, Juhelka maintained an open door policy, inviting questions, concerns, suggestions from employees at all levels. This interactive approach fostered a sense of ownership and participation among the staff. The fifth step was to implement the Agile principle. This phase marked the transition from conceptual planning to tangible action, requiring meticulous orchestration to ensure the principles of agility were embedded into the fabric of the bank's operations. The first step was to restructure the organization into cross functional teams known as squads, which were organized around customer needs and product areas. These squads were designed to operate with a high degree of autonomy, empowered to make decisions quickly and efficiently, thereby reducing the time to market for new initiatives and responses to customer feedback. To support these squads, tribes were established, each having several squads working towards a common mission. This structure aimed to maintain alignment and focus while encouraging a culture of innovation and experimentation. By dividing the bank into smaller, more manageable groups, Juhelka ensured that each team had a clear sense of purpose and accountability, aligning their efforts directly with the bank's strategic objective. Leadership at Komercni banka underwent a significant transformation as part of this agile implementation. Juhelka also introduced agile practices such as daily scrums, sprint planning, retrospectives. These practices enable teams to plan their work in short cycles, reflect on their progress, and continuously improve their processes. It was a departure from the long winded project timelines of the past, moving towards a more dynamic and iterative approach to work. Juhelka spearheaded initiatives to educate and train employees on agile values and principles, bringing in agile coaches and organizing workshops. The goal was to ensure that every member of the bank, irrespective of their role, understood the essence of agility, adaptability, customer centricity, and a relentless pursuit of improvement. The sixth step is to remove obstacles and create short term wins. In the initial 6 months following the Agile rollout, the bank encountered numerous challenges that tested its commitment to the new way of working. One of the most pervasive issues was the organization's reliance on formal meetings, which often stifle quick decision making and real time collaboration. Joelka and his leadership team observed that most constructive discussions and problem solving occurred not in the confines of boardrooms, but during informal gatherings such as coffee breaks. This accelerated decision making process and also fostered a more relaxed, open workplace atmosphere, which was crucial for nurturing the agile mindset. It underscored the realization that the formal structures and procedures once deemed necessary for maintaining order were in fact impediments to agility and innovation. Another significant move in the bank's agile journey was the launch of the business financing trial. This initiative was carefully chosen as the first real test of the agile model within Komercni Bank. The tribe was composed of 60 individuals divided into 5 squads, each tasked with specific aspects of business finance. From the outset, the tribe embraced agile practices wholeheartedly with dedicated agile coaches, training sessions to ensure everyone was aligned with the agile principles of collaboration, rapid iteration, and customer focus. The immediate success of the business financing tribe served as a powerful short term win for the agile transformation. The reduction of managerial positions within the business financing tribe highlighted another critical aspect: the shift towards flatter structure and increased autonomy. This move not only streamlined operations but also empowered employees, giving them a greater sense of ownership and responsibility for what they do. The seventh step was building on the change and scaling Agile. This was all about expanding the Agile transformation beyond the initial pilot projects, embedding Agile principles into the bank's broader operational framework. Following the triumph of the business financing tribe, the bank took deliberate steps to extend the Agile model to other areas of operation. The success story of the business financing tribe served as a blueprint and a beacon of inspiration for the rest of the organization. Leveraging this momentum, Johelka focused on creating a structured yet flexible framework for scaling Agile, ensuring that the expansion was both strategic and sustainable. The bank initiated the formation of additional tribes, each centered across key business areas and customer needs. Those new tribes were designed with the same principles that had guided the business financing: autonomy, cross functionality, and a sharp focus on delivering value to customers. A crucial aspect of scaling Agile at Komercni Bank was empowering tribe leaders. These individuals were given the authority, support to handpick members for their teams, design the tribe structure, and define its goal. This empowerment was a significant departure from the bank's traditional siloed model. The bank significantly cut down the number of committees, replacing them with quarterly organized sessions. These sessions brought together all tribe leaders, head of centers of expertise, and executive directors from across the bank. This format encouraged open dialogue, rapid problem solving, and alignment on strategic objectives, further embedding the agile mindset into the bank's leadership practices. Eighth step was to anchor this change and make it part of the corporate culture. The ultimate success of the agile transformation depends not just on structural and procedural adjustments, but on fostering a fundamental shift in mindset and behaviors across the organization. Traditionally, employees were accustomed to focusing solely on their specific tasks or functions, with managers overseeing the broader outcome. The Agile transformation challenged this norm, encouraging every team member to see beyond their individual roles and understand their contribution to the tribe and the bank's overall success. Juhelka and his leadership team transitioned from directive roles to becoming facilitators and coaches. They focused on empowering teams, providing guidance, and removing obstacles, thereby fostering an environment where teams could experiment, learn, and iterate with greater autonomy. The focus on delivering minimum viable products became a central tenet. Teams were encouraged to quickly bring a basic version of a product to market, gather feedback, and then iterate. The bank's performance review and reward systems were also realigned to reflect the agile culture. The evaluation of an employee's contribution shifted from a sole focus of individual performance to include their impact on the team and the tribe's success. Bonuses and incentives were structured to reward collaboration, innovation, and the achievement of shared objectives. This alignment of rewards with agile values further solidified the cultural shift, making collaboration and continuous improvement intrinsic to the bank's way of working. Komercni Bank adopted the 2-week sprint model, a core agile practice that organizes work into short, manageable cycles. Each sprint was focused on achieving specific goals, allowing teams to break down complex projects into smaller, more achievable tasks. Another important aspect was the implementation of regular sprint reviews and retrospectives. These sessions provided opportunities for teams to present their work, gather feedback, and reflect on the processes. By making these practices institutional, Juhelka ensured that continuous improvement was embedded in the workflow, with teams consistently seeking ways to enhance their efficiency and effectiveness. The bank adopted a hybrid approach, where long-term planning and goal setting coexisted with the flexibility and adaptability from all of this. Juhelka now turned his attention to make sure that human resources or HR was more agile. HR played a pivotal role in sustaining the agile transformation by ensuring that the bank's workforce was aligned with its strategic objective. This involved not only recruiting and developing talent that was suited to an agile environment, but also creating a workplace culture that is supported agility, innovation, and continuous improvement. The HR team worked closely with agile coaches, leaderships to identify skill gaps, facilitate team dynamics, and support the personal and professional growth of employees. 2 years into the agile transformation, Komercni Banka had undergone a profound metamorphosis. One of the most immediate and impactful results was a notable increase in customer satisfaction. The adoption of delivering minimum viable products and iterating based on customer feedback allowed the bank to respond more swiftly and effectively to customer needs. And that led to resulting in an improved net promoter score, where once customers rated their satisfaction at levels around 10 or 11, post-transformation surveys showed a marked increase. The most transformative impact of the Agile journey was employee satisfaction. Staffs reported higher levels of job satisfaction, driven by a clearer sense of purpose, ownership of their work, and the opportunity to contribute to more meaningful projects. The Agile transformation equipped Komercni Bank with the resilience and flexibility to navigate future challenges. This was exemplified when the COVID-19 pandemic struck, forcing businesses worldwide to adapt to unprecedented conditions. Komercni Bank's agile infrastructure allowed for a seamless transition to remote work. The bank's ability to continue its operation without significant disruption during this period was a testament to the success of its agile adoption. In line with global banking trends, Komercni Bank is now set to further expand its digital offering. The bank plans to leverage its agile capabilities to accelerate the development of digital products and services, from mobile banking solutions to AI-driven financial advisory services. These initiatives aim to provide customers with seamless, intuitive, and personalized banking experiences, enhancing customer satisfaction and loyalty. If you're interested in case studies and stories like these, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Bye.